Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning into The Medium by Design. So today I wanted to lighten it up. This video is not from any of the higher beings, although he might disagree with me. I had a visitation with Bob Barker, and the reason that this occurred is because I found this PlutoTV.com website, and it has so many old TV shows on it. I found The Price is Right, and I grew up with The Price is Right, and I loved Bob Barker. I truly did. And a lot of these messages from famous people is because I felt love from them. Not all of them, but many of them, and that's why I cry in the videos. So, there's at some point I loved that person. And I even questioned, like, how could you love somebody you really don't know? Well, we know now that the soul knows them. There's a memory somewhere in our soul's history that knows that other soul. And it's a beautiful thing. We are very, very connected on levels that we don't understand. So to lighten it up, I did this message from Bob, and he does talk a lot, I have to say. I was surprised. He had a lot to say. And I think it's very inspiring. And he talks about his job. And it's just see what you think. And if you'd like to make comments, if you got touched by this, you can comment about it. If you knew Bob Barker, that would be even better. Then you can confirm that this sounds exactly like him. So here's what he said. Isn't this a surprise? I haven't had a chance to speak since I left, and I always have something to say. And he already is laughing and smiling, that big smile of his. I can look back now and realize you are correct. I had a chance to make lots of people happy. It was a pleasure to host that show all those years and witness so many wonderful and funny reactions from contestants. It was a dream job. And I was treated like royalty with total respect. Of course, there was the occasional scandal and gossip, but for the most part, I remained unscathed. Let's talk about some other issues I find disturbing now that I've had a chance to look at things from this angle. I really did not know about all the nefarious things going on in this world. I was so focused on my day-to-day life, I had no clue what other people were planning. To watch people now from this vantage point is somewhat disturbing. Oh yes, all is explained to me, and I see the greater purpose of it all. But nevertheless, many people will be put in harm's way and suffer in the coming years. You haven't seen the last of this type of person. That said, many will step into their person, their clearer version, than they have ever been. They might not have a job as easy as mine, but they will gain much more satisfaction from where they put their time into. Many just take a job because it is presented but have no real stake in it. This is a shame because each of you plays a role in every position you take. You have a chance to make a difference, change things, the course of events, the way things are done, or simply touching the lives of others, like your show Touched by an Angel or Ghost Whisperer. Oh yes, I am quite aware of the shows that have your kind, Salvatore, as the star. You see, I have had a chance to look at all those areas of life I had no time for before. Just this opportunity to share with you now is a new kind of thrill for me. I would not have put much stock in this while I was alive, but now I can spend all the time in the world sharing my thoughts with you, at least for as long as you will listen. And he's laughing again. Each of us gets our attention put in a direction and then another direction, but there isn't enough time to cover all the experiences and subjects available. Life truly is too short. However, those areas we do have a chance to explore give us each an opportunity to learn something, connect with certain ones, to share an experience, to create bonds, friendships, and even long-lasting loves. It is all part of this human experience. We should all grab as much experience as we can get while living because those memories will last into eternity. Now, with the use of the internet, all of our video work can last forever. In some ways, we really do become immortal. Even though I have moved on to another plane of reality, I can still enjoy seeing people watch episodes of the show. Even I can enjoy watching them, seeing the contestants' faces again. Hell, some of them are here with me now. I met many a contestant that passed before me and got to reminisce about their TV show experience and the fun they had. Yes, we get to socialize too. It is hard to explain how life is on this side. Sometimes it seems very cloudy and unclear, almost floating. Then other times, like now, it seems crystal clear as I convey my thoughts to you. I have to be clear if I want to be understood. You know, at the end of my life, my mind was no longer what it once was. It was a strange sensation to lose one's faculties that I had completely taken for granted. I learned that I really did not have control of much, including my own mind. That was not an easy realization. I must also tell you that I loved my life. I loved the show, the people around me every day, meeting new people every day, just being able to share in the possibility of putting a smile on people's faces made me happy. I wasn't always in a chipper mood, but I did my best, and I think we projected a pretty positive experience to our viewers. The access and respect I gained from doing that show was something I would never fully understand. As a younger man, I looked at work as a means to an end, something I had to do. As the decades passed, I realized what it was to leave a legacy and make a little history. Winning awards for my work was the greatest icing on the cake of my life. As I said, gaining such respect was a huge bonus. You too can gain this type of respect for one main reason: your love of humanity. He's talking to me with that. You know that people deserve so much more than what is going on in many people's lives. It bothers you that many still don't know any better, and you do not believe it is just their lot in life. For some, this is true. Circumstances are keeping them held back, so they cannot reach their highest potential, and in some cases, no potential at all. I can see what you have been observing and completely understand your frustration. However, I want to remind you that you will continue to touch people deeply in any endeavors you partake. You cannot help it, because this is what you are here to do. You will be quite surprised by some of the opportunities that come your way, and rest assured, you will not have to keep yourself hidden or protected from life much longer. No, life will be showing you much more adventure, something you have been craving these last few years. I would do my best to take better care of yourself, your body. Move your body more. Don't stress it. Just do the movements in a relaxed way to keep things moving. As you get back into your workout groove, then push a little further. Just take things slowly as you begin to move in that direction. You will be pleasantly surprised with what you can still accomplish. Your body is not as weak as you believe after this traumatic experience. In fact, this all happened to bring back some of your previous strength and resilience. Keep the faith. You are on the right track. So the one big thing that I got from this was, how are you liking your job and your position in life? Do you realize that you're there for a purpose? Do you realize that you're there to touch the people that you're in front of, even if you don't like the job? Maybe you're realizing that you're going to move on to another job. You're all having your own personal experience with the work that you're doing. And you need to feel that the purpose is there. Feel into the purpose. Journal about the purpose. Take a look at why you believe you're in that position, and then do the best that you can. Because if you're there, you are still there for a reason, even if you want to leave. And I loved the simplicity that he saw his work. He was there just to put a smile on somebody's face. That's all he lived for. I looked at his natal chart in astrology, because you know, those that know me know that I'm still an astrologer too. And I looked at his natal chart, and I often do this, and I'm considering a series about the natal charts of famous people, because they're really interesting to look at, because you can see how they use their energy and how they project that into the world. And his Mercury, his planet that rules the mind, was in Sagittarius. So he really was out to have the best time he could with everybody he met. It was really a fun insight to him. So I think that's very important. He's trying to show that your jobs and position do have particular meaning, and you can touch people from wherever you are, if you choose. Of course, it's free will. And then, of course, he gets into my body, which I didn't even see that coming, because as I have gone through this tremendous experience, I kind of thought, at one point, I really was walking feeling very broken, because the invasiveness of open heart surgery and cutting the heart open to replace a valve, if you want to see what that's about, watch a video of that. It's not easy to watch, because it is like the most invasive thing. I would put it right next to sexual abuse, because you're being invaded by, forces that you did not expect to be invaded by. And the shock that I felt after the experience, it took me 8 months to process the experience. But this is what they told me, and I keep thinking I'm going to do a video and share more about this, but I can share bits and pieces as I go, I guess. What they told me was that the level of clearing that I had to do, I could not do consciously. Now, that's not a belief that I hold. I think you can do conscious work without dramatic experiences. I always believed that. I thought if you keep working on your consciousness, then you don't need to have a dramatic experience or a traumatic experience or a shocking experience. My whole perception of these difficult times that we go through is completely different. I no longer have judgment. This is one of the things I had to clear after the surgery was judgment about any circumstance. That was not easy. And I hope I never have judgment again about circumstances. I really hope I remember this moment. Because what I learned was, through the intense anxiety and fear waves and the crying, 8 months of uncontrollable crying. Now, you might laugh at me because you might know that I cry a lot anyway, but I don't cry that way. That crying was much more intense and much different. So if you're going through that, just to, address the emotions you might be experiencing, let them out and honor the wave. Hope that the wave is short, but let it out, and you will feel so much better. It took me 8 months, but I can honestly say, now I'm a year past the surgery. I can feel in some ways, not all, in some ways, I feel completely different and better. So I don't always function. I told you in one of the previous videos, my mind does not always work. And that was disconcerting. And the fatigue is still a problem, but I'm trying to treat it not like a problem, as a phase. So I do rest a lot. I still have to rest a lot. And for an Aries, this is so bizarre. But anyway, if this video touched you, as I hope it touched somebody out there, you know what to do to be supportive. You like, you subscribe, share. We want to build this YouTube channel and touch more people. That's the only reason I'm on here, is to touch people. That's it, because I'm not monetized. So it's not about the money. It's about touching people and helping people elevate. The goal is to elevate. So if you're still watching what's going on in the world and can still stay elevated and observe like you're on a cliff and you're observing the behaviors, you're observing it. And, oh, this is funny. On the last video, I wanted to quote somebody and I forgot who I wanted to quote. But I'll just say that there is some truth in the fact that if you're becoming more multidimensional and you're getting downloads from the other dimensions of information that you didn't know before, you didn't understand before, you're getting truths that your soul's been dying for you to understand, you will still be witnessing a world changing and in some ways falling apart. There is still strife. There are still wars. And hopefully those listening to me are not having those experiences. And the reason that I address this is because you're supposed to stay in the integrity of your own light. If you want a little something about the light of who we are, go back to the Mr. Rogers message. It is beautiful how he talks about our light. Really special and very gentle. He shares the message in his way, very, very gentle. So, just realize that your light is not meant to be manipulated by anyone in any way. And if it's still happening, it's because it happened in a past life or your childhood. You're on repeat. So continue to clear out those energies until they're no longer needed to remind you to be the bright light, that you stay in that. And we all go, I don't want to say we all. I'm trying to avoid saying all or everyone because I don't believe everyone's having this experience. But I can tell you from my experience that all of those really horrendous times when people were on the attack, I know now, and I'm so happy that I know this. I know that I triggered them. I know that my light was too much for them to take, and their reaction was trying to dim me. And I'm really, really aware of that now. And it's not egotistical at all. It's like, thanks a lot for reminding me how powerful and bright I really am. And then I move on. And if it's time for you to move on, then realize who you really are and move on. Because we don't have to help. We don't have to clarify. We don't have to explain anything to anybody. We only do it when we're guided to do it. And we do it for those that can receive. The rest doesn't matter. Everybody deserves to be exactly where they are until they know better. And that is a huge, juicy, delicious message. I was so happy to understand that, and I hope I never forget it. The problem in this life is these things keep coming back that will try to bring you back down again. It goes on. Isn't it kind of weird? Isn't it like, sometimes it's like a yo-yo. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm talking to some young people. You might not know what yo-yos are. I don't even know if they still make yo-yos. If they do, tell me in the comments. Yo-yos were a fun little toy you played with in your hand with a string, and it spun around, and it's a very old toy. But if they still make them, it's good for your hand and eye dexterity. So if you're having any trouble with your eyes and focusing, or the dexterity of your fingers and your hands, get a yo-yo. Anyway, like I said, I appreciate you for watching. Thanks for watching to the end. Thanks for doing all you can to be supportive. I really appreciate that. And there is more to come on the Medium by Design.